Hi, everyone. That was interesting. That was a fun way to kick things off. My name's Jim. Welcome to the group chat, our weekly broadcast keeping you up to date with all the developments that are happening in the Students' Union, in UCL, and in general. Today, we're joined with me, the Postgrad Students Officer, in case you didn't know that. And also, I am joined by Ilyas and Carol, who are, Ilyas, Carol?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Ilyas. I'm the activities officer.
And I'm Carol, the Democracy Operations and Community Officer.
It's lovely to see you guys again. It's been quite a while. How's your week been? How's life been in general?
I'm excited
Busy.
for the group chat. This is my first group chat, so I'm excited. I'm always commenting on the group chat you guys are doing, supporting you guys. So glad to be
Yeah,
here
you are.
today.
I love seeing them. I love seeing the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely to chat with you guys. Carl, I heard you were doing a little thing, trying to review as many takeaway food places as possible. Where did you try last night?
Just talking about my just like lack of interest in cooking, then definitely. So I ordered Honest Burger last night, and I have a very particular set of dietary requirements, which meant that I could get a vegan, lactose-free, gluten-free burger, and it was actually really good, and I might go out there again. And their chips are just gorgeous. Rosemary salt, yes please.
I highly recommend it. One of our alum, a famous Adam Hador. It's his favorite joint, and they know him by name. You might get a discount if you drop his name. Cool. So over the next 30 minutes, we are going to try and make sense of the week. We're going to pick up some questions that need answering. We're going to highlight events coming up next week and meet lots of amazing student leaders currently working hard in leading our clubs and societies. So, and also this week, we're going to be focusing on the leadership race. But before we kick things off, first things first, as always, a huge thank you to Film Society for producing this show. So now, next over to Carol for our weekly update.
Yes, so this is, as always, a quick rundown of the main things that have happened this week. So the first one is that we've launched the Student Choice Awards. So there have been some incredible examples of staff going above and beyond to make this year happen. And we want to try and focus on the good and recognise these amazing people and celebrate them and the work that they've done this year. So, as is usual for this time of year, we ask you to tell us who has really made a difference to your learning experience. If you think someone's gone above and beyond and you want to thank them in a really meaningful way, then nominate them for a Student Choice Award. And you've got until the end of this term, so that's kind of late March, I think. I can't really keep track anymore, to put in your nominations, and the links for this are going to be everywhere. And they're also in the newsletter that you should have gotten either yesterday afternoon or kind of into this morning. So the second thing that's happened is I'm going to be having a conversation with the new provost, and I really want you to help me come up with the questions to ask him. And this will be filmed and shared in March. So Michael Spencer's been here for a month already. He started at the beginning of this term, and he's keen to hear from students about their experiences and what can be improved. We mentioned it a few weeks ago, and we've already met him and shared the 10 top things that we thought he should be focusing on based on the feedback that you've given us. And this is another great opportunity to put your questions to the person in charge. So quick question, Ilyas, if Michael Spencer just magically appeared right now, what would you ask him?
I mean, I'd ask him for loads of great sports facilities and everything. But I think one thing I'd ask him for is a SAB boat. I think we really need that. Need to be
Yeah.
taking our meetings over the Mediterranean Sea.
Wishful thinking, I think. Wishful thinking. Thank you, Ilyas. And then the last thing that happened, that's kind of happening, is that next week is the start of Sustainability Month at UCL, or as it is often called, the 28 Days of Sustainability. Which means this means a huge amount for me, as earlier this year I developed and launched the union's very first sustainability strategy, which has committed us to work towards being the most sustainable students' union in the country, and then later the world, fingers crossed. And you'll hear that kind of phrase a lot, but to us, that means a commitment to doing some really practical things that will make a huge difference. So things like implementing carbon footprint labels for all of our products in our outlets, launching a carbon offset scheme for our students and staff when they travel for student union business, and ensuring sustainability runs right through our supply chains and our decision making within the Students' Union. And there's so much more on that strategy. And you know what? Let's just make sustainability the theme of next week's show so I can get to go into even more of it. But back to the month. So there's something really good happening every day, and a link to the pages is in the comments below, and will be in Ilyas's events email on Monday. We're even hosting a special hustings on sustainability for the first time ever, and that will be during Vote Week, where you get to ask the candidates in the leadership race kind of what they want to do in terms of sustainability in the coming year. So that's the news for this week. And now it's time for your questions. So I want to thank you all once again for submitting questions on our Wednesday Q&A on our Instagram story. We really get a lot out of it, and it's really great to kind of answer your questions as they come up. So this week we focused our Q&A around support and wellbeing, and we were joined by Student Support and Wellbeing, who were on hand to answer your questions. And I'm sure a lot of you will resonate with what was being asked by others this week, and we hope that you're not alone and that there is support available that gives you some comfort. And we asked people what they were worried about, and here's a bit more detail on 3 issues that were raised this week. So the first was around career prospects and kind of how can UCL help with kind of the daunting job market at the moment.
Yep, so this is a really tough time to be thinking about jobs and careers. I know from a lot of my friends that they're all struggling right now, and the economy is not in the best place right now. So it's not surprising that that everyone's feeling worried about the job market. So UCL Careers actually offers one-to-one appointments to give you guys career guidance. So in these short guidance appointments, you'll speak with a UCL careers consultant about the future of your options. You can then get ahead by creating an initial action plan together with the consultant. And then hopefully this will help you feel a little bit more in control of your future and understand what your options are and how to move forward with your job hunting. So definitely check them out if you're struggling about that with careers currently.
Absolutely. I've gone to a few careers appointments myself, and yeah, they're really friendly, and it's just really good to just talk to someone who knows what's happening with careers, and particularly if you don't want to stay in academia, which I think kind of a fair few of our students want to kind of, you know, I think they've had enough with education. Who knows? So the next question was around kind of students kind of feeling stressed, worried about their jobs, failing exams, and just kind of overall kind of who they can talk to about these kind of issues.
Yeah, so lots of people in the same boat as you guys. So don't try and be hard on yourself because everyone's struggling right now. We're in a global pandemic, for God's sake. So remember that you're trying to do a degree, but look after your well-being and get through the global pandemic. Things are going to be challenging, but we're here to help and we've got your back. So Student Support and Wellbeing offers same-day appointments with amazing advisors. They're very kind and friendly. So you can have a confidential chat about how you're feeling and get some support in place. If you're looking for more support, though, you can register with the Student Psychological and Counselling Services to get access to counselling or therapy. You'll be seen as soon as possible, and the current wait time to be seen after registering is around 2 to 3 weeks. But obviously, if it's more urgent and depending on your circumstances, you may prioritise and be seen straight away. So definitely check out the services if you're in need.
Absolutely. And it's really important for people to remember that there are resources and services available to them. And kind of we at the union are definitely working on how to kind of make it easier to know about them because they are definitely there. Just got to get the word out a lot more. And then the last question was kind of how to tackle feeling demotivated all the time.
Honestly, we hear you, and I feel your pain even personally. Like when I get called into so many meetings, it's like that scene from The Godfather 3. Every time I leave, they pull me back in. But then there's some bits of advice that's actually helped me a little bit. Routine can be really positive for mental health. So try to impose structure on your days. This can be in whatever way works for you, but it's super important to try and start and finish your day at regular times and get those all important 8 hours of sleep. And also make sure you take breaks from studying so you can rest and recharge. Even if there's not so much to do at the moment, as we're in lockdown, this can really help you face the day at 9 a.m. on a Monday. You could also join one of our well-being events. These online sessions will help you look after your body and mind, and you might just find what you need to feel a little bit more motivated. So swipe up or look at the chat to sign up, and also consider going to our website and checking out our Project Active offerings. And if there's something more that you're worried about, then please do not hesitate to book an appointment with one of our advisors at our advice service, and you can have a chat with them about how you're feeling, and we can explore ways to help you specifically.
Absolutely. So I think this about wraps up the question section. Now over to you, Ilyas.
Yep. Today we thought we'd change things a bit, and we've invited loads of people to talk. So we're gonna have a few conversations with some people in leadership positions. Biggest group chat ever. I mean, it's only episode 5, so the bar is kind of low. But yeah, we're gonna have some conversations, some mini interviews with people in student leadership positions, and student leadership roles that are up for election during the. There's loads of student leadership roles are available up for grabs. It's not just SABs, so there's our roles available, part-time officers as well at the union, but there's also loads of leadership positions in clubs and societies, over 2,000 positions actually. So every club and society is actually led by a team of students, and we're gonna introduce you to a few people today who are going to talk about what being a student leader is really like.
Cool. So, although it's been a very different year for our clubs and societies, they have all still been very, very super busy, even through our lockdown. They have collectively run thousands of activities and online events this year, and we know how crucial they are in keeping our students connected. The leaders of these groups are truly amazing and have made a huge difference to so many students at UCL. So, just to kick things off, let's start with our wonderful arts officers, Sam and Anna. Hi, Sam. Hi, Anna. Oh my God, it's been ages. I haven't seen you guys in ages. How are you guys doing? How's life been?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. How are you, Sam?
I'm all right, thank you, Jim. How are you? Long time no see.
I know, right? I'm loving the longer hair. It really suits you.
Thank you. I'm loving the blue hair.
Yeah.
Really suits you.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I'm trying to I think it really brings out my eyes. Anyway, on to serious stuff. So what have you guys been up to this year as arts officers? And what do you feel like you've gained from being arts officers this year? So let's start with
So
Anna.
this year, this year we have been working really hard to kind of make sure that the arts community is a community, because obviously we're in these very kind of distance times, and mine and Sam's major aim this year is to connect all these societies as a community. So we kind of relaunched the arts Instagram, which had been fairly inactive for about 2 years. So that is currently thriving, and we're kind of taking on our role as social media managers and enjoying that immensely. But also just in kind of more practical ways, we're trying to really support societies who are going through hardship, because obviously a lot of the program has been paused because we can't do things in person. So we've been involved in a lot of meetings with different societies about their Bloomsbury productions, their other shows and other events that they were holding, just to try and support them as best we can. Yeah.
We've also had the opportunity to work with sort of permanent union staff and a lot of you wonderful sabbatical officers, sort of trying to create our own opportunities, I guess, for societies to get involved with performances and sort of arts in general, which has been really great. Not all of it has come to fruition in the way we would want it to, but c'est la vie, that's the nature of COVID at the moment. But it's been really interesting and really, I don't know, productive to be able to be a part of these conversations that you normally wouldn't be a part of, and actually have a bit of, have your own creativity in making these events. This has included not only sort of working within the union itself, but also working with different aspects of UCL. So with UCL Culture, we've been working on a little project called the Festival of Intimacy, which you can apply for now. Stuff is all on our Instagram as well. But yeah, it's just, I guess, it's been a really great experience being able to feel like you're giving back to a community that has done so much for myself and for Anna over the past 2 years that we've been at UCL.
I definitely see that, and I really appreciate it. I believe the Instagram handle is going to be on the chat below, so please follow that if you're watching this at any time. And yeah, you guys have done amazing work this year, especially when it comes to like really elevating the arts brand. And I remember like some of the first competitions you ran at the start of the academic year. I think I may have taken part in one of them. They're all really great. But for you guys specifically, what has been the highlight of your time as officers?
I think for me, I was kind of nervous about this year coming into it just because of what it looks like and the distance that has kind of it has a huge impact on the arts. But actually, I found the engagement across the arts to be one of the best things that I've kind of been a part of this year, because usually with the arts, if it's performance based, you have that like audience cast member kind of that there is distance. Obviously, it's still participation in a certain way. That's why we do live theatre or whatever. But Sam and I have been discussing that it's so nice to see across the platforms that people will be watching shows, watching galas, watching events, like as they're running real time through the streams, and they're like writing like a million comments and being so supportive of other members of the community. And I feel that's been really exciting to see, because we really wanted to kind of make that community something like something concrete. And usually people in a society would only really go to their society's events, or if they have friends in another society, whereas we've seen much more that people have kind of engaged with the entire arts community and program. So that's been my highlight, I would say.
I think mine kind of feeds off. It kind of feeds off from what Anna was saying, is that being a part of the arts community, as sort of a member of multiple societies, and both Anna and I have been on various committees as well. So we've had a certain level of cooperatively working with, for the most part, other students, but obviously, staff within the union as well. And I think being a part-time officer has just kind of increase the scale of the number of people we get to work with, whether they're students or full-time staff, or people sort of without the within the union and without, getting to talk to alumni who are now going off and doing some really cool and creative things. And yeah, I guess it's really lovely to be able to spend your time working with people who are creative and who are just as passionate as you are. And just have that scope to be able to, with it, what COVID allows, but to kind of run free with that imagination of what can we do to make this the best situation we have at the moment.
Yeah, that's amazing. I actually agree completely. Being an officer just puts you in a position to connect with so many significant people and so much talent, and use their resources in a way that actually benefits the student body. It's a really rewarding role to have. So what would you guys say to anyone considering running for arts officer this year?
We would absolutely say to go for it, because it's been really rewarding on so many levels. I think Sam and I both ran because we've gained so much from the arts program over the past few years and really wanted to try and give back to it in a meaningful way. But I think we found that the engagement, as Sam was just saying, with kind of the wider union, the wider UCL kind of culture has been really exciting. And I think personally as well, working with the activities team, so with the sports officer, with so Meg, and then Saeed, the societies officer, has been really great as well, and Ilyas, the activities officer, Zab. So it's been really nice to be in that kind of smaller team, and we're all working together towards these goals and are all very passionate about the program. So I'd say if you are like super passionate about the arts and really want to find a meaningful way to kind of give back and also get to know a lot of the societies you don't have membership to, then get involved. Yeah.
I think also it's the wonderful thing about the part-time officer role is that it effectively is what you make of it. You are being given this opportunity while still being, alongside just your studies, to ultimately be very creative about what you can do to make the sort of the community that you are a part of even better. And I'd say that there aren't many positions where you have that opportunity to really go wild, as it were, and have a bunch of officers and full-time staff who are really behind you and go, okay, well, let's try and make this work.
Yeah, speaking for a second as a student, not an officer, I have to say my time at UCL greatly benefited from the work that you guys did and the work that your predecessors did. I was part of so many art societies, and it really defines your time at UCL being part of these societies, and that is in no small part down due to the work that's done by the arts officers. So yeah, hopefully the people who take over the roles from you will do just as good a job as you guys have done this year. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, it's lovely to see you guys, and hopefully we'll get to meet up again in person sometime soon.
Thank you very
Good to
much.
see you, Jim.
No, it's like lovely to see you both. And next up, we have Carol and Catherine, the Musical Theatre Society president.
Yes, thank you, Jim, and welcome to Catherine. Welcome to the group chat. It's great to have you on for us to have a little conversation. So just want to quickly introduce yourself, kind of who you are, what you study, what you do with the union.
Yeah, hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Catherine. I'm the current president of UCL's Musical Theatre Society. I'm in my second year doing philosophy.
Ah, fantastic. So kind of what initially motivated you to run for president last year, and is it what you expected?
I'm sure you can imagine it's absolutely nothing like anyone anticipated. Last year, I really wanted to contribute further to society that I was already involved in, and I really loved. The arts play like huge part in so many of our lives, and I wanted to just kind of further the excellent work that my predecessors had done and come up with new inventive ways for people to get involved and realize that fundamentally, musical theatre, as with all of the arts, is something that's accessible to everyone.
Exactly. You don't have to be a good singer.
No, not at all. Like, please don't worry about that. Just come along and have fun. You can have your own little musical going on in the background.
Absolutely. And our club and societies have done so much to grow communities this year and to help students find those networks of friends and to meet new people. And it's kind of really, I think it's really important that we have kind of amazing leaders and amazing people run in elections. So kind of what has this experience taught you about yourself and your capabilities?
I think it's taught me that there is always a third option. There's always an answer to kind of a problem that you may have. Trying to run a club or a society that, the major core activities we do are in person or in front of a live audience, coming into COVID and everything going, yep, it's all online now. You obviously have to come up with these really creative and inventive ways to try and get members involved. So I think it's taught me a lot about sort of being, staying innovative and staying motivated above all else. I have a fantastic committee that are constantly thinking of new ways to sort of create workshops and opportunities for our members and to make it more accessible. I think that's almost been a plus side of COVID, if I dare say that, is that we've been able to kind of come up with some workshops and galas and events that have meant members who are international students are able to access it. So I think it's about trying to find the positive in every single moment, every cloud and all that. So I think, it's taught me a lot about motivation and carrying on, even in sort of the most difficult of times.
Absolutely. And I think kind of working with your committee is such an important aspect of being a club or society leader, because you like one person in the committee shouldn't do all the jobs needed to be done. So yeah, it's really good to kind of it's really good that you've been able to kind of have that kind of team working and that support network within your committee. So that's incredible to hear. So kind of why should people kind of get involved and become leaders or leaders in clubs and societies, even in these strange, weird, confusing times?
Yeah, I mean, it can seem a bit kind of, oh gosh, is it all just going to be online again? Even in sort of these difficult periods. I think becoming sort of a leader or applying to be a committee member of any society is going to give you the opportunity to develop a society or a kind of activity that you love even further. You're going to be the person bringing in the ideas, setting them up, and engaging with and networking with people that you won't have necessarily met before. And I think it's about realizing that becoming a leader is the continuation. You're preserving your society and your activity. For the new members who want to come in and join, you can sort of restructure it, reshape it. It's yours to kind of play with it as you wish. And so I would really, really encourage anyone who's sort of interested in the longevity of their activities to apply, because you have the power to make those changes, and you have the power to reach out to other societies and get involved. So, you know, MT have had amazing collaborations with societies like drama, live music, dance in the past, and we look forward to expanding that even further. And the fact that everything is online, you know, we're quite, I'd like to say, you know, we're quite cool in terms of our, you know, networking capabilities online. You know, if you're spending quite a lot of time on Instagram anyway, then this is a great opportunity to carry that on further and start promoting the work that you're doing to other students. So yeah, I just 100% encourage everyone to get involved and sign up. Even if you're not sure about what you're going to do, you will have an entire committee either behind you or with you to kind of support you, and you'll be pooling ideas together. And at the end of the day, you'll meet incredible people and gain so many invaluable skills that you'll take with you, you know, wherever you choose to go in the future. So I would say it's definitely helped me in so many aspects, from, you know, delegation, sort of creative problem solving, things like that, and especially this year for creative problem solving. So I would really recommend people do it.
Fantastic. I mean, the kind of the work of our club societies, of our art societies, of all of them, it's just been awe-inspiring. Like as a SAB, we're doing our roles full time, so we kind of take some time out of our studies, whereas you guys are doing it alongside your degree, which I mean,
yeah,
I could never have done that.
I think it's about finding that really nice balance between not, you know, leaving everything to the last minute and just focusing on your society. So it definitely will teach you about managing your time a lot better. So yeah, just make sure you're staying on top of that. I think also, you know, I would say that being part of any sort of club, whether it's in the arts or sports, it teaches you to kind of, you know, I think a big message comes across from it is about welfare, especially during, you know, COVID and the pandemic, about looking after yourself and being aware of others around you and how they may be feeling. And being part of a society is a great way to stay interactive and connected, you know, especially for musical theatre or the arts. A lot of our interaction has been limited. So to have these online resources and have committees and other societies that are working so hard to ensure we remain connected is just so lovely to see.
Fantastic. I mean, on the group chat, I always talk about kind of students forming networks, finding friends and stuff like that. So it's just brilliant kind of for the kind of people watching to see that a lot of that can be done through our club and societies, and kind of the role of the leaders of the club and societies to really facilitate that. So before we wrap up, Catherine, is there anything else you'd like to say to all of the incredible people watching today?
Just to kind of, you know, carry on and get involved in as many societies and clubs that you have. You know, even if you feel that, you know, oh, what's the point because everything's online, you know, the opportunities that, you know, people like yourselves and other officers, the arts officers you've spoke about previously, that they're creating is incredible. You know, one of the things, the project we've actually got going on at the moment is trying to facilitate a kind of a big performance of the performance arts societies. So we're going to kind of start putting that into the works, and essentially that will enable us to showcase all the work that people have been doing at home, whether you've been like tap dancing in your back room or annoying your neighbours with like drums. Yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity for everyone to kind of get involved and have to showcase talent. So just really kind of make the most of your time at UCL. You know, it's not just there to get this amazing academic degree and all these opportunities. It's about networking with people that share the same passions and drive as you. And societies are a really great way to do that. And sign up to things that you don't expect you'll be interested in. So kind of push yourself out there. And if you're not sure on something, just give it a go. I mean, you know, committee members tend to be some of the most friendly people you ever meet. And definitely just drop them a message. So that would be like my advice to anyone.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on the group chat, Catherine. Good luck with planning that kind of showcase event. I'll definitely be watching. And yeah, good luck with everything. Thank you again. And now I'm going to hand over to Ilyas and James.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol and Catherine. Welcome to James to the group chat. You're right, James. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, just chilling at home, same as everyone else. Just trying to get by.
Yeah, do you want to introduce yourself, your role, what you study?
Yeah, so I'm James. I'm fourth year German and history student. I'm president of men's hockey, and I'm also a sports rep.
Cool. So obviously it's been a strange year, but we know loads of sports clubs have actually managed to keep a lot of activities going and open. So what have you been up to? What have men's hockey been doing when we could do sports?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a strange year. It's a great way of putting it. Obviously, in summer when I was running, or even before then, last spring, at that point it looked like things were going to get a bit better in September. So at that point, we were thinking about consolidating on all the great things that had happened in the normal year, the last normal year as it was. But yeah, I have to say it's been eye-opening, and I echo the words of people who've spoken before me in the interviews. It's just been inspiring to see how communities have come together, and actually, to turn a negative into a positive. It's been quite refreshing. We've had a lot more time to focus on issues we probably normally wouldn't have done, or at least not in as much depth. So things like supporting Black Lives Matter in a far bigger way than we had before in Black History Month. Movember was very fortunate to have a great volunteering sec in Henry. So we more than doubled the money we raised last year, but raised over £2,000, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's mostly been focusing on things that are less tangible, changing the constitution to kind of reaffirm our commitment to diversity and inclusion. And I know lots of other clubs like lacrosse have been doing very similar things. So yes, it's been actually fantastic.
That's quite good. It's quite good and refreshing to hear that you've had such a productive year when a lot of clubs and sides have had their activity stopped. So it's quite good to hear. What's your most enjoyed moment, or what bit did you enjoy the most about leading your club this year, about being president?
That's difficult to answer. I think I would have thought in the beginning, like my preconceptions coming into the role would be like one of our main events, like varsity. Obviously, sadly, that's not going to happen in the same way as it would have done in previous years. But as the year's gone on, and as I said before, the most enjoyable thing is being at a social on a Wednesday and seeing, in spite of everything, 40 people show up, have a fantastic time, come together in spite of everything that's going on outside. People log in on Zoom or whatever, and it's just fantastic to see people still making connections, making friends, even when we can't do what is our core function as a hockey club to play hockey. People are still connecting with each other online. So that's probably the most enjoyable thing, I think.
Cool. And you guys have been very, very active in all the Team UCL lockdown challenges. So it's good to know you guys are still creating that community. So about being president and being a leader, how important do you think it is that a club like yours will have a strong leadership going into next year, which hopefully will be like a normal year where sports are allowed to happen?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's important to have good leaders, right? Especially in challenges or challenging times such as this. But I don't think, like, to anyone watching who's possible candidate or whatever, you shouldn't be put off by that challenge. I found that, as people again have said before, the amount of support and the amazing environment we're in at the moment, where you can have a lot of responsibility and also a lot of freedom to make change without fearing the consequences as much as you might do, say, in a work environment or in an independent organization. So yeah, obviously it's really important to have strong leadership, but I think more so it's important to remember you're still a student. This is a club, and the main thing is just to be passionate about hockey in my case, or whatever sport it is, or whatever other activity it might be. And the main thing, I think, actually, I felt this year, the main thing for me is just to be open to my members, firstly, to let them know what's going on, and also to be receptive to their ideas. It's not, sometimes I certainly had the misconception before that you're expected to do everything, and that's really not the case. Everyone wants your club to succeed, especially committee. And I'm obviously very grateful to have such a fantastic committee with me this year. So yeah, so I think that's the main thing, to be honest, is just to be passionate, and I'm sure lots of people out there are.
Yeah, it's definitely quite important, and yeah, like you said, we do provide loads of support. There's support from the union. We host training sessions. We're going to do extra training this summer for those students that might not have had that experience of being in a leadership position. So what about like the other committee roles? So obviously you're the president. I was a sports. I was in the football club, and I was a club captain, and I was a vice president of the club. So what other committee roles do you guys have, and would you recommend for people to step up to them? What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd recommend all of them. Certain ones, like president, treasurer, it would be preferable to have a bit of prior experience, but that's really, that doesn't have to be the case. The other positions we have that I'm sure most other clubs do are welfare officer. This year, more than any other, really, is that has been hugely important. We've held weekly drop-ins, anonymous messaging services, and things like that. So that's a hugely important position. Marketing as well, obviously making sure students know what's going on, right? So every week they can come to our socials and we don't have no one in the meeting or whatever. And then other things we have, as I said before, volunteering, fixtures set and fitness as well. Obviously everyone's indoors, but it's really important that people still go outside, and it's so beneficial for your well-being to still exercise. So yeah, we have a dedicated fitness sec. As you say, other clubs have club captains. Obviously, we have team captains. So there's a huge variety of positions and responsibilities. But the main thing I'd say is, as I've said before, if you're already passionate about hockey, no matter what position or any sport, no matter what position you go into, I'm sure you'll make a difference. And at the end of the day, that's the main thing. It's a student organisation, and it's the experience of leading. Even if you've got no experience, or if you're not sure you want to make the jump, just go for it, because even if not everything comes out how you want, you've learned from the experience and you can take that forward into your job or into later life. So yeah, there's just so many opportunities on offer, so just get involved.
Yeah, that's great, and I'd echo everything you just said. Like I had the same experience when I was in the committees of a sports club, and yeah, there's so much to gain, and there's basically nothing to lose. It's just a few hours a week or every few weeks that you have to commit to it, and there's so much to gain. So yeah, thank you so much for talking about that and coming onto the group chat. Anyone can stand in elections, so there's no right student leader. We need everyone. And next year is a chance to actually make up for lost time. So just imagine being back where we belong, out doing our activities. The students elected this March are going to make such a difference to everyone's experience next year. So everyone watching, if you're thinking about being in the committee, being a student leader, then definitely go for it. So thanks, James.
Thanks very much.
It was nice to speak to you. And for the last part of today's shows, we're going to see what events are coming up in the next week. Yeah.
Great. So here's what to look out for next week. First thing to note, all of these events are listed on our What's On calendar. So head there for links, tickets, and info. Firstly, do you ever struggle with sleep? Do you toss and turn every night and start every morning with barely an hour of shut-eye? If so, then we've got the perfect thing for you. Project Active are running Yoga Nidra, which I hope I pronounced right, which is a form of dynamic sleep yoga to help us relax and sleep. I definitely need it, and you can even join from your bed, as a lot of people fall asleep during the session. It seems perfect for those of us who struggle to sleep, and Yoga Nidra will be running every Sunday from 8:45 to 9:30 p.m. Secondly, just a reminder that the incredible people over at our LGBT network are still running loads of events to celebrate LGBT plus History Month. They'll be joined by the UCL Welsh Society, and we'll be having a conversation with Welsh drag queen Mel Teaser tomorrow night, Saturday the 20th of February. And on the night, there will be a special performance, a Q&A session, and just an evening full of fun. Look out for the purple blocks on our What's On calendar for more events from the LGBT plus network. Also, like we mentioned earlier, we're in the nominations period of our leadership race, and we really are here to support you. We've got quite a few drop-in sessions for you to find out more about the leadership race, find out about the roles, the benefits, all that stuff. And even if you're semi-keen on joining the race, just pop along. No harm, right? We're also running sessions on campaigning online and how to write your manifesto. So check out all the events by going to the Students' Union website, studentsunionucl.org/leadership race. Also, Rare FM have been really pulling together, pardon me, stumbled over my words. Let's start again. Rare FM have really been putting through with their guests. They're going to be joined by Robert Rosenberg, who was the manager of Led Zeppelin, The Who, and some other huge bands. It's an amazing opportunity to hear how this man helped make these great bands what they were. So that's on Monday, the 22nd of February at 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Okay. um, next up. Next up, if you're thinking of continuing your studies to PhD level, then UCLConnect.ed have got a panel talk to help you make a decision. They'll be having an interdisciplinary panel of mentors to discuss their experience of studying for a PhD. It's a rare opportunity to hear from PhD students themselves on what it's like to be a PhD student, what the experience of studying at UCL has been like, and how the journey to get there really is. So sign up for the event on Tuesday, the 23rd of February from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And for the last event I'm highlighting, over the next 4 weeks, Carol, sorry, that side, yeah, Carol is leading the Carol is leading the Let's Talk About Sustainability series every Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. In the first event, you will be placed in small groups where you can meet other students, talk about sustainable consumption, which is how we can fulfill our basic needs more sustainably, and also learn from each other. There's a different theme each week, and this is a great way to meet new people and find others who are passionate about sustainability. Again, for those at the back, all of these are listed on our What's On calendar. So head there for links, tickets, and info. And also look out for Ilyas's email in your inbox on Monday morning with everything happening next week. And also, again, check them out on the What's On calendar.
Thank you so much, Jim. So, yeah, we're coming to the end of the group chat this week. Massive thank you to all of the guests, all the people who kind of had conversations with us. And, yeah, have a lovely weekend. That's the word.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Remember, take part in the leadership race. Go for a Club of Society leadership position. If you have any questions, just hit me up, message me, email me. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a lovely weekend, everyone.
Thank you all for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy, and live